Hi guys, welcome to another one. This is Books with Brushu and I'm Jordan and I like to drink coffee and read books. And today, do I have a giant book haul for you again. You know how I said I was gonna stop buying so many books? I failed miserably at that. You know, if these authors would just stop writing so many good books and stop publishing them so fast and stop making such beautiful editions, then I wouldn't have to buy so many books. I just can't help it. I just want to read them all. I want to read them all. I am freshly out of the shower. I washed my hair, so that is why it's wet. Duh. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We are quickly losing daylight because, again, I have been very busy today doing stuff around the house and doing yard work because in Georgia it is now 80 degrees and things are starting to grow. So I've got to do yard work every weekend. Let's start off with some books that I got for Christmas. I love to read. My sister loves to read. My mom likes to read when she makes time for it. And I always put books on my Christmas list. So these are the ones that they got me this year. So my sister got me Lady of Shadows by Melissa K. Rorich. This is the second book in the Lady of Darkness series, which I have not started yet, but she got me the second book in the series because I know I'm gonna like it and I can't wait to read it. So I'm obviously not gonna read the synopsis or anything since it's the second book in the series, and I, for one, have not read the first book, so I don't wanna be spoiled. My mom got me Duskbound and The Ascended by Greenwich and Lennox. Now, Duskbound is the second book in the series with Riftborn. I don't remember the name of the series. And then The Ascended is the first book in another one of their series. However, these are interconnected. So the suggested reading order is to read Riftborn, Duskbound, and then The Ascended. So my mom got me both of these books, and these are freaking chunky because I like old books and I like to display them. My mom got me this Hardy Boys book and I just love this cover. It's just so pretty and so colorful. I've got a couple of Nancy Drews that are sitting out on my fireplace mantle. So this one is gonna go out there with them. And this one is quite old. Let's see the publishing date on this. 1927. So this came out in 1927. And it's got, as the older Hardy Boys books do, they're all like printed like that. And then just the plain cover. But yeah, 1927. So really, really love this. My mom goes to a lot of estate sales, and so she finds fun stuff like this quite often. And then also, my mom got me the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire in it's not the Mina Lima editions anymore because that people duo aren't doing these editions, but this one is illustrated by Carl James Mountford. But basically these are illustrated and they also have like pop-ups in them. So like this one is a pop out of the tent at the Triwizard, at the Quidditch World Cup. So they just have fun little things like that throughout the entire book, and almost every page is illustrated. And they've got it's just really fun to read these. So I got the fourth book, and that will go nicely up here with the other three that I have. Then in January, me and some of my friends went to New York to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway with Tom Felton, and I will tell you, it was so freaking good. It was so freaking good. I absolutely loved it. So this was my first time seeing it. Everyone I went with had seen it before, but it was my first time seeing it, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. When I was there, we also saw Hadestown, which I really, really loved. And then we saw And Juliet. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. There is something that happens in the middle. I loved it. It was so, so good. So good. So of course, when we were in New York, we went to a lot of bookstores. So everyone that I went with, we all loved to read. We went to several bookstores. The first one, me and my old roommate from grad school, we went to, it's called Love and Legends Bookstore. And when I was there, I got The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs, and they gave us this cute bookmark. Their shop is in Brooklyn. Maybe that will focus. But anyway, their shop is in Brooklyn, and Love and Legends Bookshop, and super cute store, super cute. So I got The Princess Knight and also Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose, which I recently finished this in February, and I absolutely loved it. And it's very pretty. It's got these beautiful sprayed edges. It's got some character art. So super fun. And I got both of these books there, as well as this fun sticker. Well, it does not want to focus. It just wants to focus on my face. Got this sticker. We also went to the Harry Potter store, obviously, and I got this postcard, which is fun. I just have it sitting here with everything else, so figured I'd show it. Then we went to the Strand, because why not? It's a huge bookstore. And I got The Gracier by Kim Leggett. I have heard really good things about this book and have been really excited to read it. No one speaks of the Gracier. It's forbidden. In Garner County, girls are banished for their 16th year to release their magic into the wild so they can return purified and ready for marriage. But not all of them will make it home alive. Tierney James dreams of a better life, but as her own Gracier draws near, she quickly realizes that there's more to fear about the Gracier than the brutal elements and the poachers in the woods. Their greatest threat may very well be each other. Gave me this bookmark in my book, so that's really cool. So excited about the Gracier. My old roommate from grad school, for Christmas, she got me Beth is Dead by Katie Burnett. And she got it at this really cute bookstore, cute little bookmark. And this one is a Little Women retelling. Oh, and it's got these beautiful end pages with the blood dripping from the top. So fun. When Beth March is found dead, her sisters vow to uncover her murderer until they begin to suspect one another. Joe, an aspiring author with a huge social media following, would do anything to hook readers. Did she kill her sister for the story? Amy is desperate to study art in Europe, but she needs money from her aunt, money that's always been earmarked for Beth. Meg wouldn't dream of hurting her sister, but her boyfriend might have done it, and she'll protect him at all costs. And the March sisters aren't the only ones with a story to tell. There's Theodore Lawrence, the neighbor who has feelings for not one but two sisters, Meg's manipulative best friend, Amy's flirtatious mentor, and Beth's Lionheart first love. But the suspect pool stretches far outside family and friends. Months ago, the March sisters were dragged into the spotlight when their father published a controversial bestseller about his own daughters, so anyone could have wanted Beth dead. Dun dun dun. Intrigued to get into this one to see who murdered Beth. That's my little New York City haul. I already need a drink of water. Y'all, I went to the gym today. We were there for an hour and a half. And then I came home and sweated my ass off outside for over an hour doing yard work. So I am so dehydrated. I still had yard work to do, and I just had to stop because I was profusely sweating so much and so exhausted. I only got a little bit done. But you know, more than was done yesterday. So I got the indie version of Blood and Betrayals by Jeanette Rose and Alexis Rune. This is the first book in the Avalon University series, and this book did get picked up to be traditionally published. So I got this at thriftbooks.com actually for relatively inexpensive. I think it was less than $15. This is the indie published version. I was afraid that there would be a lot of changes from the indie version to the traditionally published version. So I went ahead and picked this one up. It is quite lengthy, and the writing is minuscule, so small. I went ahead and grabbed this one. It does have a cool map. Oh, it has multiple maps. I went ahead and grabbed this. I have also pre-ordered the Trad Publish edition just because I think I'm gonna really love this book. And the author actually just announced the title and I think cover for the second book in the series. Then, special edition of Credence by Penelope Douglas. I read this book in January. I actually read this book while I was in New York. I absolutely devoured this book. It was so freaking good. So, so good. I loved it. I loved it. Now, if you do not like taboo romances, you won't like this. But if you are intrigued by that kind of thing, check this out. It's so good. So I ordered this edition from the After Dark bookshop. They did a pre-order a couple of months ago. And this book came in, I think, January. So super excited to have this. It does have these pretty sprayed edges and some nice end paper art. The back is the same. And I don't think it has anything else. Just a beautiful special edition. And I'm so happy to have this because I absolutely love this book. Like, so freaking good. The books that I have gotten from Barnes & Noble. I pre-ordered, now from Barnes & Noble, I pre-order 95% of the books that I get there when they're doing their pre-order sale. Like 3 or 4 times a year, they have a 25% off pre-order sale, and I always order my books then. So I got the traditionally published version of The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. It's got a new cover from the indie version. It's got sprayed edges with a snake on it. I do like this edition. It's got a little bit of art in the front. And I am excited to get into this book. Like, super excited to get into it. I have also pre-ordered the second book in the series, or trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. But I did pre-order the second book so that they would all match. And then the author did recently announce the third book, which is The Cannibal or Cannibalism or something like that. That I think is supposed to come out later this year. So this book is about, amid the gaslit alleys and cobblestone streets of Victorian London, 2 killers find themselves entangled in a waltz they cannot escape. Alina Leese, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavory men using her twisted sense of poetic justice. When she targets the conceited playboy Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week, she discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip in affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens, chilling secrets emerge from the shadows, along with concealed identities and lurking foes. While questions are as plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within the haunting Gothic tale of violent passion. Will Silas and Alina find themselves in each other's arms, or will the secrets of their past keep them apart? So, I've heard this book is so good, like so, so, so good. Then I got the third book in the Second Sons series by Emily Rath. And this is a Why Choose? I think this is a Why Choose, like a Victorian Why Choose. And it has these beautiful sprayed edges and also character art. It actually has 2. So I have the first 2 books in the series in this edition. These are the Trad published versions that have recently been re-released. This is the 3rd book in that series. Then I picked up another new release from Ivy Ophelia, which is Fruit of the Flesh. This doesn't have sprayed edges or anything. It does have a little bit of art in the front, very similar to The Poisoner. But I believe this is a standalone. Recently, traditionally published from indie is the To Bleed a Crystal Bloom trilogy from Sarah A. Parker. And they have released these beautiful editions with brand new covers and sprayed edges. And there's some art in the front. There's a map. A glossary. I like a good glossary. So I got to bleed a crystal bloom, and also to snap a silver stem, which also has these beautiful sprayed edges. And let's get a look at the art on the inside of this one. Ugh, this one's of a man. This one's of a man. So I know nothing about this series other than Laura from Laura Reads loves it. So, and I already have the third book pre-ordered too, which comes out later this year. 19 years ago, I was plucked from the heart of a bloody massacre that spared no one else. Small, fragile, an enigma. Now ward to a powerful high master who knows too much and says too little, I lead a simple life, never straying from the confines of an imaginary line I've drawn around the castle grounds. Stay within, never leave. Out there the monsters lurk. Inside, I'm safe, though at a cost far greater than the blood I drip into a goblet daily. Oh, didn't know this was vampires. Toxic, unreciprocated love for a man who's utterly unavailable. My savior, my protector, my almost executioner. I can't help but be enamored with the arcane man who holds the power to pull my roots from the ground. When voracious beasts spill across the land and threaten to fray the fabric of my tailored existence, the petals of reality will peel back to reveal an ugly truth. But in a castle puddled with secrets, none are greater than the one I've kept from myself. No tower is tall enough to protect me from the horror that tore my life to shreds. So, again, I've heard they're really good. Also from Barnes & Noble, I got Holly by Adeline Grace, which is a belladonna novella. And I've heard this is best read physically. It was also 50% off during their sale at Christmas because it's illustrated beautifully. The naked hardcover, I mean, come on. And there are illustrations in the book as you read. And so you just don't get that when you're reading it on your Kindle. You know what I mean? You can see the images, but it's just not quite the same. So I went ahead and picked up the physical copy. Plus I have physical copies of the other books in this series. So it was like less than $10, I think. Then something that just came in the mail this week was Direbound by Sable Sorensen. And yes, this is the special edition, sprayed edge edition of it. It's got these beautiful sprayed edges. Love, love, love. Then, one moment while I get the dust jacket off. Naked hardcover. This says, make me your instrument of vengeance. And wait till you see this character art. Boom. And boom. Now, I have not read this series, so I don't know who this man is, but he's cute. He's cute. I cannot wait to get into this series, like seriously. It's got a map. Love a good map. So, super, super happy with this first print edition of this book. Like, super happy with it. So pretty. And I've already pre-ordered Fury Bound, which is the second book in this series. Now, the last book from Barnes & Noble is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. And these books were initially indie published, and now they're trad published. So, of course, they released a new special edition. This one has beautiful sprayed edges. And then it has a printed hardcover, which that's kind of hard to see. That's better. And then printed end pages, a glossary. I love a glossary. No map, but still very pretty edition. I have also heard really good things about this book. Those are all the books that are sitting on my desk right now. So I've got to pause and switch over because, as you can see, there are more piles of books on the floor here. More books have been acquired on the desk. If you've seen my last couple of book hauls, you'll know that for probably more than half of 2025, I was skipping my book of the month books because I didn't want any of the picks. I didn't want any of them physically. Well, I had forgotten that when you do a 12-month subscription, you pay for 12 months and you get your credits all at one time. And those credits expire in 1 year. Well, I got to, I think November or December, and realized that I had like 7 or 8 credits that I needed to use by January because my subscription renews in January. So I had to get a lot of book of the month books so that my credits wouldn't just disappear, unfortunately. Because, right, that's their policy. They give you these 12 credits and you have 1 year to use them. You can use one a month or you can use them however you like. I had a lot to get. Plus, my birthday is in November, so you get a free book for your birthday. So I had that too. I picked a bunch of books and I got a huge stack of book of the month books. So it's making up for the last couple of book hauls that I've had 0 book of the month books. So we will start off with Rings of Fate by Melissa De La Cruz. This book of the month has started doing some sprayed edge editions, which fine, do sprayed edge editions, but don't charge me extra for them. If you're gonna charge me extra for them, give me an option to still get this book, but without the sprayed edge. Because now, instead of the books being $13 each, they're like $17 each, and I can get a non-book of the month book for that price. Because honestly, I don't think the quality of these books is great. I just don't. I don't think the binding is great. Sometimes they just come like crooked and stuff. $13, fine. But if you're gonna charge me an extra $3 or $4 because it has sprayed edges and I don't have another choice, now we're getting into the realm of I can buy this book somewhere else for the same price or less and it's better quality. So I don't love that. Most of the time it's the fantasy books that have the sprayed edges, which are the ones that I'm most interested in. Grr. So this is the book for January 2026. So picked this one up. However, it does have cool end pages, which I didn't know that it would have. So that is cool. And they've been doing these like 100 years of bookmarks, so that's cool too. Let's see what this book is about. She's a barmaid who doesn't believe in fairy tales. He's a prince cursed to live one. Erin Bellamore has no interest in being anyone's princess. She's too busy running the Raven's Beak Tavern, fending off unwanted marriage proposals and dreaming of escape. But when a brush with death and a dangerously handsome stranger upend her life, Erin finds herself bound to a bargain that could change everything. So I do think this book sounds really good. I do think it sounds really good, which obviously that's why I grabbed it. Also, I think in January, I grabbed a bunch of Chris and Hannah books to use up my credits because I have read three Chris and Hannah books and I've absolutely loved them. I have the women in the book of the month edition, so I decided to get the rest of the Chris and Hannah books that I could grab in this edition too. So I've already read The Nightingale. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. I also picked up The Four Winds, which did happen to be the book of the year in 2021. I have not read this one yet. Then I also picked up, these kind of got out of order, The Great Alone, which I also have not read yet. So excited to read these and to use up my credits. In, I think it was December, I didn't like any of the December picks, but I knew that I had to pick a book because I had to use credits and I had to use them by January and you could only pick to have 5 books or something. And so I knew that I needed to order a book of the month. Well, recently, Book of the Month has let you, if you don't like any of the main picks for that month, you can choose a member favorite as your book of the month and then do your add-ons on top of that. So that's what I did for December. And I chose Red City by Marie Lu. Again, sprayed edge edition, I had to pay extra for it. Annoying. And this one, no special end papers. This was actually the pick for October of 2025 and I had skipped it because I didn't want to pay the extra money for the sprayed edges. It was the one that sounded the best out of the member picks in December, so I went ahead and picked it up. And since then, I have seen several people on BookTube read it and they absolutely loved it. I'm really excited that I have this book now. These other two were add-ons to use my credits again. I grabbed A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the second book in the Saga of the Unfated, which is a duology. And I have the first book in the Book of the Month edition, so I used a credit to get the second book. As another fun add-on, I got The Wicked by Rebecca John P. And this one sounded really, really intriguing, kind of like a dark romance. So picked this one up. Let's read the synopsis. Elio, they called me the Wicked. I've earned that name with blood, silence, and the weight of every secret I carry. As head of the Marino family, nothing slips past me. Not lies, not weakness, not fear. But when she enters my world, everything tilts. Zara, I'm dangerous and I've had to be. I grew up with men who treated bullets like sugar cubes. I've risen from the streets to create the most notorious gang of thieves in the country. But after a job goes wrong, my crew and I are held captive by the wicked, and I'll do just about anything to take advantage of it. Even if it means working with the wicked and pulling off the biggest heist I've ever dreamed of. I'm dancing with the devil, and the cost might be my body, my very soul. But I'm willing to pay the price if it means I get him. So pick this one up as an add-on. Now, I need to pause and go switch over my laundry. Okay, so we have totally lost all daylight. Gone, bye. To continue on with more Book of the Month books. For February 2026, I chose Stolen Midnights by Catherine Quinn as my pick for the month. And this cover is just absolutely beautiful. And this, I believe, is a YA. Again, it's got the bookmark. In the heart of Andalay, a city teetering on the brink of chaos, the sheltered daughter of a revered lord awaits a magical gift from the fates. All the favored receive one on their 18th birthday. But when Ren's never arrives, her life takes a dramatic turn. So, I am actually excited to read this one, and I think this is a standalone fantasy, which never happens. In January, in anticipating probably having to use extra credits so that I can maybe skip some months throughout the year, I chose 2 add-ons. And that is mainly because The Kingdom of Claw finally came back in stock in the Book of the Month version. It's been out of stock for a while. This is the second book in the Ashen series by Demi Winters. Now I have the first book in the series in the Book of the Month edition, so I've been looking for this one to come back in stock, and it did because the third book in the series came out, Dawn of the North. So I picked both of these up as extra picks in the month of February. These are both really, really big books, but I've heard really good things about the series. Have not read the first book yet, but wanted to use some of my credits to pick these 2 up. For March, I picked Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hochhauser. Maybe. Normally I would have skipped this book because yes, it sounded interesting, but I didn't think I needed to own it. However, in March, Book of the Month will give every member a free book that was one of the Lolly finalists. So their yearly book award is called the Lolly, and you can pick to get a free one of the top 5 from that pick in March. But to do that, you have to get a book for that month. Lady Tremaine sounded like the one that I would like the best. Now, this is a Cinderella retelling from her mean stepmother's perspective. Cinderella is my favorite Disney princess. I have multiple Cinderella things around. In fact, right here, 2 things my sister got me for Christmas. A Cinderella VHS that she bedazzled, and an animated classic Disney book for Cinderella with these beautiful illustrations and drawings about Cinderella, because she's my favorite. Any book where we are taking the side of Lady Tremaine, not sure about, because she's mean. So we will see how this book goes, and it's not very long. But then I chose for my free book, the actual Lolly winner, which was Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. And I have been wanting to read this book. It sounds really, really interesting. So I went ahead and picked it up. Mostly because this was like the only one that was picked that I don't already have or that I was really even interested in. Or that I hadn't read. Dominic Salt and his 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica, home to the world's largest seed bank. Apparently I can't talk. Shearwater was once full of researchers, but with sea levels rising, the salts are now its final inhabitants. Until, during the worst storm the island has ever seen, a woman mysteriously washes ashore. And this book is not very long, but I've heard really good things about it. Obviously, it won their book of the year, so picked that one up. Now, the only Illumicrate book that I have received recently is their December pick. I do have, I'm pretty sure I have the March book coming my way. Anyway. This is the December book, and it's The Bookshop by Georgia Summers with this beautiful, completely redesigned cover and these really pretty sprayed edges with the bookshelves. So pretty. Now, let's look at this gorgeous naked hardcover. Now, this has a glossy finish for some of it. So, like, the only part on the front that's not glossy is this bottom part. And then on the back, you can tell because like the magic that she's doing is like swirling out. So cool. And then it's got these beautiful end pages. Different on the front and the back. Does it have like a map or anything? No map or anything. But still, really, really pretty edition. I really like it. And I am interested in reading this book. We gotta pick this up. I don't have time to read the synopsis of every book. Because I absolutely love Outlander. I picked up the original Outlander paperbacks because I loved the art on them. And like this one has a beautiful step back. So I picked up these on either Mercari or Pango, I can't remember. But like this wraps around to the back and the art on it is just so pretty. So that's the first book. Then the second with this pretty art that wraps around, the tartan that wraps around. And then the step back with all this art, which is so pretty. And then Voyager. Third book. You've got this, again, wraparound art. And the step back on this one is a little less detailed, but still pretty. And then Drums of Autumn. This beautiful cover. And this step back is just the tartan. I just loved the artwork on them so much. And of course, they stopped doing those editions after the fourth book, so they don't exist for the other ones. But I picked those up on like Pango or Mercari or something. Just to display around because Outlander is one of my favorite series in the show. Please, Jamie Fraser. All right, I gotta make a change again. Let's get into the huge pile of books I have from Book Outlet. Recently, they've had some really, really good picks on there. Like really good picks. Books that I've really been wanting to read. And would like on my shelves. I have made several Book Outlet orders. There are 2 huge stacks here, so let's get into them. I actually didn't organize these very well. I picked up One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and this is the first book in the Shepherd King duology. Now, in my last book haul, I hauled the second book in this duology. Both of them from Book Outlet. These books I get for really not very much money, so that's cool. Then I got A Touch of Shadows by Jessica Thorne. Yep, Jessica Thorne. Looked interesting. It's not that big. I think it's the first book in a series, a fantasy series. Oh yeah, The Lost Queen, book 1. Never go to the Darkwood. Always hide your hair. Never share your shadow magic. Okay. Raised in the forest by a witch with as many secrets as she has spells. Ugh, another Ren. Ren is so hard for me to say. The WR together mess with me. Ren's life is full of rules. For if anyone learns that shadow magic whispers to her every day, her life will be over. So when she sees a handsome knight alone in the dark wood and under attack, why is it she can no longer resist its whispers? Sounds really good. So pick that up for a couple bucks. Then I got several books in the Holly Black series, the Elfhame series, which is like Cruel Prince and all those. So I got The Wicked King, The Queen of Nothing, How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories, and The Stolen Heir. So these were all on there for like, I don't know, $6, $7, something like that, maybe even less. So I went ahead and picked all of these up because I really want to read this series, and these are 4 more books in it. And this one is illustrated too. It's got a bunch of illustrations in it. So it was only a couple of dollars. So went ahead and picked that up, figuring it would be a fun, quick read in this series. I have The Cruel Prince somewhere over here. Then I got Until the World Falls Down by Jordan Lind, and it's got these beautiful sprayed edges. And I had not heard of this book until I saw it on Book Outlet, and it looked really good, so went ahead and picked it up. When a brutal betrayal leaves Nell heartbroken and alone, she makes a desperate wish for love, recklessly offering anything in exchange. Never a good idea. Her plea is heard by Enver, an immortal as wicked as he is beautiful. He sweeps Nell away to his castle that seems to exist out of time and presents her with a bargain. Escape his labyrinth within 48 hours or surrender to eternity as his lover. Okay. And I wonder what she picks. I wonder. Oh, here's more. Okay. Fun. This is probably the start of a series, I would assume, since it's a fantasy book and those are rarely standalones. Can't tell though. Gives no indication in the front of the book, but pick that one up. Then I got 2 books in this series by Sylvia Mercedes. I believe the first one is Bride of the Shadow King and then Vow of the Shadow King. I have heard good things about these books. Bride of the Shadow King, Vow of the Shadow King, and then Heart of the Shadow King. So I only have the first 2, but they sounded really good. Though she is the oldest daughter, Princess Faraine lives in the background, shunned from court and kept out of sight. She's told her God's gift makes her a liability to the crown and has learned to give place to her beautiful, favored younger sister in all things. When the handsome and enigmatic Shadow King comes seeking a bride, Faraine is not surprised that her sister is his choice. King Vor is not eager to take a human bride, but he is willing to do what is necessary for the sake of his people. When he meets the lively Princess Ilsevel, he quickly agrees to a marriage arrangement. So why can't he get the haunting eyes of the older sister out of his head? Okay. Now I picked up White Hot Kisses by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Now I love the Blood and Ash series and the Flesh and Fire series by this author. Love them to death. I haven't read any of her other series. I have like Onyx and Obsidian. I have those. I haven't read them. So I decided to pick this one up because it sounded interesting, and it's a Dark Elements book. I'm not really sure. You know, you gotta research these books before you just pick them up, but like to read them, not just to buy them, but to like read them. Then I got either the 3rd or the 4th book in the Artifacts of Eranos series, which is Tale of the Heart Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. I can't remember if this is the 3rd or the 4th book, but it's the Artifacts of Eranos series, and it does have a really cool map, actually. So won't be reading the synopsis on that one. Then I picked up the entire Caraval series trilogy because it was on pretty good deal, pretty good sale. I think the books were like $3 or $4 each, so went ahead and grabbed those. I have heard that these books aren't nearly as good as the Once Upon a Broken Heart, but you gotta read these first, so why not? But I am interested in reading this series, so excited to have all 3 of these so that I can just get into them. I picked up House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. Another book, fantasy book that sounds really good. I'm sure it's part of a series, but you know me, I'm not sure. Oh, but it's got some cool, like a cool map. And then like a family tree or something. What is this? Order of the Descendants. Oh, it looks like it has some art. A little snake action. Okay. Camilla Marchese is fighting a losing battle to keep her family's syndicate from slipping into bankruptcy. So when the gorgeous and merciless Nikolai Atano, leader of the rival family, offers to pay their debt in exchange for her hand, she has no choice but to accept. Cool. Then I picked up the second book in this series by K.A. Lind. Can't remember the name of the series. But this is The Robin and the Oak Throne. And I have the first book in this series also with the sprayed edges. So when I saw this on Book Outlet, I was like, yep, I would like editions that match. Plus, it has really pretty end page art. And a really pretty naked hardcover. And it's so dark, so it's kind of hard to see, but I hope you can kind of see. The back end pages are the same, but it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I've heard kind of mixed reviews on this, at least on the first book, but you know, it's got a cool map. It is a Red Tower book, and they've been doing pretty good with their special editions recently. Picked up 3 Shattered Souls by Mike Horland in this pretty sprayed edge edition. This is the 3rd book in that series that starts with like 5 broken blades or whatever. It's the 3rd book in that series. It's got a pretty printed hardcover, or foiled hardcover, and some end page art. So that's cool. Same on the back, and it's got a really cool map. And I went ahead and picked this up because it was a good deal. Duh. And I've heard good things about this series, so I'm excited to read it. I think it's just a trilogy, but you know, who knows. Then I got Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. Now, the first book in this trilogy is Empire of the Vampire, which I have not read yet, but I have it in the paperback edition. So I picked up this edition. It is so floppy. And these editions, which are like the normal ones, well, first of all, here's a cool map. These editions have art all in them. So yeah, duh, I want to read the physical edition so I can look at all the cool art. But I've heard so many good things about the series. And then the last book in this stack is actually the newest edition of Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. Yeah, I found this on Book Outlet for like hardly any money, less than $10, with foiled hardcover, which, but it's got some really nice end page art. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and a map. So now I have this edition to match my edition of Brimstone that I already have, because they didn't do matching editions for the indie cover, which I have the indie version of Quicksilver, but now I have this one too. I did a little shopping at Goodwill and got some historical romances. I didn't know, but I happened to pick up 3 Victoria Alexander books. Who knew? They're not all in the same series. You know how when you're kind of overwhelmed and you want to look up the books on Goodreads to, you know, see if they're the first in the series or one that you're interested in, but you're just like overwhelmed, so you're just like, I'll just get it anyway, it's only a few dollars. Yeah, but they have really pretty stepbacks, so that's fun. This is A Little Bit Wicked, then The Lady in Question, and here's that step back. Then Secrets of a Proper Lady, and this step back. No idea which book in the series they are. I don't know, but they had pretty step backs, and since they're Goodwill, they're only $2 each. Then I also picked up Home Song by Laverl Spencer. This one does happen to be a hardcover. It's just, you know, no step back because it's hardcover, but just a plain old book, but sounded interesting. You know, I like Laverl Spencer, so oopsies. Ah, stop it. All right, we are nearing the end. I've got the books I've gotten from Amazon and my Fairy Loot books, and that's all we've got left. If you watched my February reading wrap up, which came out last week, you will know that I started and finished almost the entire Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. Broken Bonds, the first book in that series, was on my February TBR. I picked that book up and finished it in one day. That's saying something because it was over 400 pages. So I literally spent all day reading because I read slow, and I finished it. And it was so freaking good that I immediately went on Amazon and got the other books in the series. I have books 2 through 7 here that I purchased. Now, I have not read book 7 yet. Book 7 is a retelling of the first book, but in the men's perspective. And after I finished book 6, I needed a little bit of a break. I needed a little bit of a break for my mental health because these books were so freaking good. These books were so freaking good. 5-star series. I will link my February reading wrap up down below so you can hear more of my thoughts on these books, but I picked up the rest in the series. Book 2, Savage Bonds. Book 3, Blood Bonds. Book 4, Forced Bonds. Book 5, Tragic Bonds. Book 6, Unbroken Bonds. And then book 7, Broken Ties, which I have not read this one yet. Then I picked up the Court of Ravens duology, which is Feathers So Vicious and Shadows So Cruel by Liv Zavander. I have heard really good things about this duology. This has printed edges that are printed on the actual pages because it's easier for indie authors to do that, to have it printed on the actual page instead of have it printed on the page instead of the actual edge because it's more cost effective. So that's why they do that. But Feathers So Vicious and Shadows So Cruel by Liv Zavander. I have heard good things about this dark fantasy duology. Perched between branches and shadows, we watch, we scheme, fighting for a kingdom forgotten and forlorn, until we rip her away with our claws, our prisoner, our pawn, our plaything. She's innocent and pure, fragile and helpless, but oh, so guilty by blood. She calls us beasts, wicked and evil, vicious and cruel. We are all that and worse. One of us offers her shelter beneath his wings, whispering promises of pleasure, seeking redemption. The other longs to shatter her into a million pieces, whispering promises of pain, seeking revenge. Caught between our feathers, she endures our deranged desires, our secrets, our lies, our twisted plans. Will she surrender to the darkness or fight for a destiny growing ever elusive? Welcome to the Court of Ravens, little white dove. Do I need to pick this book up now? Ugh. If you watched my February Spinner Wheel TBR, you will know that this book was on my TBR and I did not get to it in February. But that is The Wraith King by Juliet Cross. And this also has those printed edges that's printed on the page because this is an indie published book. But I saw this book and it looks so intriguing. It looks so intriguing. A brutal, bloody war against the ruthless Wraith King has cost the light fae more than innocent lives. Una Heartstone, Princess of Essos, learns the price the Wraith King demands to end the war once and for all. Her. In exchange for the safety of her people, she agrees to give her life and her body to her greatest enemy. Sounds pretty good. And I know there's a second book. I don't know how many books are in this series or anything. Then I picked up Hollow by the Twisted Sisters. This is one of their new releases. Beautiful sprayed edges. Beautiful art. Nothing on the hardcover, but also different art on the other end pages. So I went and picked this one up. I have not read any of their books, but I really, really want to because they sound so freaking good. They wrote the Zodiac Academy, so. Then I picked up the Oro and Grimm hardcover editions by Alex Astor. So these are the 2 novellas about Oro and then Grimm in her Lightlark series. So we've got Oro or Grimm and then Oro with these edges and some end page art. So really pretty edition of this book, and I am excited to get into the Lightlark series this month because it's one of the books on my TBR. We might have to take a break and charge my battery. Then I picked up The Exorcism of Fairies by J.L. Vampa. I've heard great things about this book. I've heard great things, and it was on sale, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It's got some little art in there. Then I picked up Cade by Tejan. Now this is the last book in her Fallen Crest series, and this book was on super sale. It was like $5, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I also grabbed it for my friend because these are the new covers that she has come out with. But I am so excited to read this book, but I just don't want the world to be over because this is one of my all-time favorite series. It's the Fallen Crest series by Tejan. Check it out. Then I also picked up Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. This was also on sale on Amazon. I've heard really, really good things about this book. It's gotten really great reviews from some booktubers that I follow, and I can't wait to get into this one. Finally, picked up Heartless by Elsie Silver. If you saw my last haul, I got the other 4 books in the series, but didn't have Heartless yet because it hadn't been on sale. So it finally went on sale and I picked it up. Then I grabbed Accord This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. This is the first book in the Kingdom of Lies series, and it went on sale, so I grabbed it, and I am really excited to get into this book. Oh, it's got some art. That's fun. Okay. And then I also picked up this box set of Jane Austen books. Now, I'm reading Sense and Sensibility right now, so that one's not in here because I didn't grab it from the living room, but these have really, really pretty covers. Like, look how pretty that is. And this box set for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 7 books was like $25 or something. Like, look how pretty those are. I just love it. Went ahead and picked this box set up because they're so pretty. I knew I was gonna be reading Sense and Sensibility, so grab those. Now, I am gonna have to take a break to charge my battery, and then we will do the Fairy Loot books and then my unhaul books. All right, y'all, let's talk about some Fairy Loot books. So let's start off with the 2 special editions that I have ordered outside of the monthly subscriptions. So the first is The Demon in the Light by Axio, and this is the 2nd book in this series. The first book in the series, which was something about a floating world, was one of the, I think, YA books last year, like towards the end of the year, and the 2nd book came out really fast, so I didn't have a chance to read the first book before the 2nd book was already coming out. So I went ahead and ordered it anyways. Hopefully I like it. So it's got these beautiful sprayed edges. Here's the back. And then we've got the really pretty naked hardcover. And then the end pages, which it comes with a bookmark too. And then the back. So another beautiful edition. And then the reverse dust jacket, which I absolutely love. Like, this is so pretty and vibrant. I just love it. I love it. So, The Demon and the Light. Don't know anything about the first book. Don't remember what it's about, but picked this one up. Day before yesterday, Direbound. Direbound came in. Fairy Loot edition of Direbound with these gorgeous sprayed edges. Like, come on. Come on. so pretty. And then the Naked hardcover, just so pretty. And then the end pages and the back. The reverse dust jacket, which is just the regular dust jacket in a different colorway. The original is pink. Then we've got another very beautiful edition. And this is, these are kind of in the way. This is the January Romantasy book. And that is The King of Ravens by Claire Sager. I mean, it's so pretty. These beautiful sprayed edges. Like, so pretty. And then, wait till you see this Naked hardcover. Like, who is this? Who is this? He pulls me against his chest and the world folds into feathers and darkness. Here is the end page art. And then the back, like, ugh! Love it so much. Content warnings. The reverse dust jacket, which is the original cover in a different colorway. Very pretty. Now, Claire Sager has a very extensive world that she has built. And this book is part of that world. So I will not be reading this book right away. I will be starting from the beginning, and she has a recommended reading order on her website. So once I jump into Claire Sager's book, I will be following her recommended reading order on her website. We've got the adult fantasy box for January as well. And that is Graceless Heart by Isabella Banez. Now, I love this author. I love her writing. I do not love this cover. I love these sprayed edges. They're very pretty. I do not like this redesigned cover. I don't like the colors. I think the original cover is much better, which is on the reverse dust jacket. I just think it's so much prettier, more details. I just really love it. So I might be switching this one, maybe. But the Naked hardcover is pretty. I don't love the foiling on the printed hardcover, which it's easier to see the foiling on screen actually with how the light is than it is to see it in real life. And then I do love the end page art. I think the end page art is very, very beautiful. I do love it. I think it's very pretty. So overall, kind of disappointed, at least in the Naked hardcover and the dust jacket, unfortunately. And I've been so looking forward to this book. I cannot wait. This was originally a standalone. However, on Goodreads, it's now the first book in a series. So I'm kind of confused about that. Don't know what that's about. I had this on my 2026 TBR to read because it was a standalone and because I love this author's writing so much. But now I'm rethinking that and might not read it this year. We'll see. The young adult book for January is The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chachki. And I think this edition, this redesigned dust jacket is so pretty. This redesigned cover, whatever. And it's got these really pretty sprayed edges. White on the top and bottom, but still so pretty. I really do like this redesigned cover. Now, for the Naked hardcover. Please, with the pinks. Oh my gosh. I just love it. Just love it. And then the end page art. Come on now. So pretty. And then again, reverse dust jacket is the original cover in a different colorway. But I love this edition. I definitely love it. I think they did a really good job with it. Let's go ahead ahead and read the synopsis for The Swan's Daughter. Prince Eris knows that marriage means murder. After a poorly worded wish generations ago, all one needs to rule the Isle of Malice are the heart and hand in marriage of the kingdom's heir, regardless of their survival afterwards. Eris's only chance at a long life is true love. When his parents announce a tournament of brides, a throng of beautiful bachelorettes arrive at the castle, but Eris cannot tell who is there out of love for him or lust for power. Sounds pretty good. We've got the romantasy book for December, which is We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark. I think her first name is Stacia Anastasia, but who knows? I do like this completely redesigned cover. I think it's really cool. And the sprayed edges, love it. Love it a lot. I am excited about this book. I am excited about that. And the author just announced the second book too. Now, this naked hardcover, please, please. So pretty. Love it. And the end page art, like, come on now. So cool. And the back, I just love it. I just love it. And then the reverse dust jacket, again, the original cover, just in a different colorway. I can't remember if this is in the same world as her other series, but if it is, I will be reading them in the order you're supposed to, as per usual. I've got the YA book for December, and that is Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. Not a huge fan of this redesigned cover. It's just not my favorite. But in the sprayed edges, kind of plain. But the naked hardcover is really cool. I like it. I like that. And end page art. And the back. So kind of just okay. But the reverse dust jacket has the original cover, just in a different colorway. And I might also be switching this one around. We shall see. I have not read any Chloe Gong books, but I have a lot of her books. I need to get into them. And the last book of this haul is the adult book for December. And that is Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah Mughal Rana or Raina. I have no clue. It's okay. But I do like this redesigned cover, but the original cover is really cool too. Then we got the wings on the back, the sprayed edges. So cool. So cool. I just love it. Then we've got the naked hardcover. Yep. Love it. Love it a lot. And end page art. More end page art. Love, love, love. Like, who is that man? The reverse dust jacket, y'all. I mean, do I want to switch this? Let me know in the comments below. Regular, or reverse? Let me know which one you like best, because I can't quite decide. Those are all of the books in my book haul for these past several months. Now I do have several unhaul books too. Let me grab those and we can go through them. For these unhaul books, I have talked about all of these books in my recent reading wrap-ups for, I think, January and February. I have talked about these in those videos as well. The first on the pile is Postboredom by Patricia Cornwell. Now, I did enjoy this book. I am reading the other books in the series, but I don't need to own this. I don't need to own it because I'm not going to read it again. I'm not going to. So, free little library, here we come. Also, Devil of the Highlands by Lindsay Sands. Loved this book a lot. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend. Historical romance with Scottish guy. Come on. Scottish laird up in the Highlands. There is some pretty character art on this. I will say. Like, it's really pretty. But again, I don't need this book on my shelves. Then I have Savannah Breeze and Hissy Fit by Mary Kay Andrews. I have had these books on my shelves for like a really, really long time. And when I say really long time, I mean probably upwards of 15 or 17 years, something like that. Haven't read them. I don't know why I've kept them around so long. I guess I thought one day that I would want to read them, but after reading the synopsis, I'm like, nah. And this happens to be the second book in a series, which I did not know when I bought it. I don't care. I just don't care. So, unhauling those unread. Super disappointment. Wicked Charms, which is the third book in the Lizzie and Diesel series. I was under the incorrect impression that this was the end of the series. It is not. This series was intended to be 7 or 8 books long, and I guess the publisher decided to end the series. So I did not want to finish reading this book and be super disappointed because it's been years and years since I've read the first 2 books. I wasn't super invested in the series anymore. Started reading this, realized how much I loved it and how much I missed the characters and blah, blah. But then I realized after reading a little bit that I knew they weren't going to wrap up all the things that they needed to wrap up in this book. Well, that's true because there were supposed to be more books in the series. So I decided to DNF it because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got to the end knowing that the series would never be finished. Then the last book of the unhaul is The Principle of Moments. Now, this was my first Illumicrate book. Since it was the first month that I got off the waiting list, I could not skip. So I had to get the book. Otherwise, I would have skipped. Nothing great on the sprayed edges. Not interested in the story. This book came out in 2023. This book came out at the end of 2023, and the author has yet to announce the second book in the series. 2.5 years in, no second book in the series in sight. No hint, no announcement. I got on her Instagram, I couldn't find anything. So I decided, why am I gonna read the first book in the series, which I'm not thrilled about to begin with, if the series is never gonna get finished? So I'm just unhauling it unread. So those are all of the 6 books that I am unhauling for the last 2 months. That concludes this book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below in the comments if you've read some of these books and you loved them or you didn't like them, thoughts, ones that you think I should read right away, etc. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more reading vlogs, bookish content, fun spinner wheel TBRs every month. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.